Hello everyone. So this is permutations from the CSES problem set. Let us understand the problem first. You're given a number n, okay? That's the input, and that is the size of the array which you have to create. So they'll give you the size of the array and you have to create an array. But the array you have to create should be of this type. Uh, it should contain the digits from 1 to n. So if the input is 3, the digits should be 1, 2, and 3. And then you have to create it in such a way that no two adjacent elements have differ by one number. Like let's say we have 5 and this is the output, and if we notice here, uh, none of the numbers which are adjacent have difference of 1. So 4 minus 2 is 2, 2 minus 5 is 3, 5 minus 3 is 2, and then 3 minus 1 is 2. So the minimum difference has to be if any, yeah, that's called a beautiful array according to them. Now, how do we solve this? Now, I think there are multiple ways to do it, but this is what I did. Uh, so we have to make a few observations. So let's say n is equal to 1. Then it's pretty simple. We just return it because there's only one element. Now, if n is equal to 2, we have two possibilities. We can either create 1 or 2 or 1. But none of these two permutations are beautiful because these two are adjacent to each other and the difference is 1. So if n is equal to 2, we have to print no solution, right? Now if n is equal to 3, so if n is equal to 3, so 1, 2, 3 is not possible, obviously. And however, however we however we create it, it's not possible to create a beautiful subarray. Now you can try writing all the permutations and then you'll find the same observation. So n is equal to 3, you'll end up with the same thing. Now n is equal to 4. If n is equal to 4, uh, so for n is equal to 4 and above, what you can do is, let's say we have the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are the digits we have to use to create the array. So all the elements in the odd indices, so if the indices are 0, 1, 2, 3, we can group 1 and 3 together and then 2 and 4 together. So these are the even indices and these are the odd indices. And now what we can do is, uh, so if you notice now, we have already gotten the beautiful array. They're just not together. So we can put 2, 4, and now 1 and 3 together. And now this is beautiful. So the minimum difference is 2 minus 4 and 3 minus 2. 4 minus 2 and 3 minus 1, which is 2. Now if n is equal to 5, we can perform the same thing. So if n is equal to 5, so 1, 3, and 5 would be together, right? And then 2 and 4 would be together. So we're adding the even part first. So the output would be 2, 4, 1, 3, 5. So for n is equal to anything greater than 4, we can create it using this manner. Uh, and then for n is equal to 2 and 3, it's not possible. So we can have two base cases. For n is equal to 2 and 3, where we print no solution. And for n is equal to 1, we just print 1. And for any other number which is greater than 3, we can use our rule and then get the result. Now let's look at the code. So this is the base case. If n is equal to 1, we print 1 and we return. If n is lesser than 4, basically if n is equal to 2 or n is equal to 3, we have to print no solution. And now if n is 4 or greater than 4, first we're creating an array of the numbers from 1 to n. So these are the numbers from 1 to n. So 1, 2, 3, and then up to n. So up to n. And after that, I'm initializing two empty lists called as odds and evens. So all the elements in the even indices, uh, I'm adding it to evens. So if nums mod 2 is equal to 1, so 1 is a truth C value. I'm adding that to odds. And if nums mod 2 is equal to 0, that goes to evens. And after that, uh, evens plus odds. So this is just concatenation of a list in Python. So evens plus odds will give you the result. Now I'm just printing the result with separated by spaces. So I'm printing all the numbers, separating them by spaces. Yeah. And I'm taking the input number and then passing it to the function, which is an integer. The input should be an integer. Yeah. So basically what we're doing is taking all the numbers which are at even indices, taking all the numbers which are at odd indices after sorting them. So we're generating a list from 1 to n, and then taking all the even indices or odd indices, and then we're concatenating them together. So that's what the result is. Yeah. Thank you for watching. Okay, so a permutation is called beautiful if there are no adjacent elements whose difference is 1. So given can construct a beautiful permutation if such a permutation exists. Okay, a beautiful permutation cannot exist. Define solve n, which is an integer. Okay, so if n, now if output no solution. Okay, so if n is equal, if n is equal to 1 or 2, so if n is less than 2, or so it's not strictly that. So we can, okay, so if n, if not, what we're gonna do is construct this. Okay, so what you can do is, let your input is 5. So we can put 1 here and 2 in the other end, 3 in this end, 4 here, and then 5. So that is how you can do it. Now, if you have 6 elements, input is 3, also no solution. Input is 3, also no solution. Okay. Let's say we have 6 elements. How do we do it? 6. The 6 is possible. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 3, 5, 4, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4. If you have 6 elements, how do we do this? Now, what you can do is, one, 3. Okay. Six, two, four, 135246. Okay, that is possible. Okay. So our result, let's say our nums is equal to I range to this. Okay, now our odds is equal to f um, minus 4, it's 1, 3. If n is 4 also you cannot. If n is less than 5. If n is 5, 1, 3, 5, 2, 4. If n is 5 is possible. If n is less than 5, it's not possible. Or if n is equal to 5, then it's possible. 9, 3, 2, 8. Okay. We call the function. So, uh, n is equal to that. So, n is 5, 1, 3, 5, 2, 4. 1, 3, 5, 2, 4. That is one solution which is possible. And we need to print it in that order. So our array is equal to that. Now for I in array, print I and is equal to that. Okay, let's give it a go and see what happens. Oh shit. The wrong answer. You got it input 1, 2. Okay, no solution should be in. Okay, that is fine. That is fine. So if n is lesser, okay, if n is equal to 1, uh, don't- okay, let's just print it out here. Okay, now let's print 1. Now instead of taking the input here, let's just this, paste it here. Okay, so for I in result, This seems fine. Mm, okay, let's try this now. Uh, and that should be working. Wrong answer 4. Okay, n is equal to 4 to 413. 2413. That's only if n is equal to 4, right? Uh, so if n not, I mean, I don't think it matters. It's only for n is equal to 4. If n mod 2, then it's that. It's that. Else is equal to a equals. So it's okay. That should be fine. Uh, 2413. Perfect. Okay.